Today we're going to be talking about a demo for a game that comes out sometime next year, somewhere probably around first or second quarter. A demo that I was told would take me anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes to complete, but I've ended up shaving that time down to about 8.5 minutes, a personal best that I achieved while recording the footage for this video. A demo that has gone on to consume my thoughts and had me about at the minute after the word go. That game is called Cairn. Now, before we begin, as always, I am not a games journalist, and I'm not reviewing this game. I'm a guy with some opinions and a microphone. My opinions are just that, and I encourage all of you to play the demo and decide for yourself how you feel. Now, let's get started on this whole thing. The story of Cairn, and even more so the demo, is very simple in concept it seems. You play as Aava, not Ava as I thought it was going to be pronounced, but Aava. This means nothing to the wider story, and in fact makes no difference at all. I just wanted to bring attention to it for no reason. Someone whose life seems to revolve around rock climbing and adventure, whose sole mission is to be the first person in the world to reach the summit of Mount Kami, presumably the tallest mountain in the world. This demo acts as what I can only imagine is supposed to be the prologue, the tutorial area in the full game. Here you can learn the basics of climbing as well as some more advanced and difficult challenges if you're up for it. To start, when you're simply playing as Aava, you have the basics. You can walk, run around, jump to your heart's content, and interact with items and your environment. She can't run very far, but any sprint is good sprint, let's be honest. However, once you start climbing, that's when things get a little wonky. You're no longer just controlling Aava, you're controlling her limbs. Arms and legs are the names of the game here. Using each limb, you must put them into proper areas to climb in any direction that you need. However, you must also keep an eye out for Aava doing the wigglies. You see a limb start spazzing, you need to move that limb or other limbs to a better position because she will fall otherwise. The system is definitely an acquired taste. It took me a couple minutes to understand how to work it and what to look for when moving my hands and feet. Short answer, flat surfaces are bad. Edges and rocky terrain are good. There is no yellow paint to save you here. There's a learning curve here, and it's one I enjoyed studying on, because once you understand how everything works, it all falls into place quite easily. The moment I understood how hand and foot placement should go, I was climbing like no one else, zooming up the cliff face and making it to the top. Oh, shit. I'm at the top. I'm done. Cairn definitely has some problems that the demo made clear to me, and we'll get to that in a second. But I think my main gripe currently, and it's not even really a gripe, is that I want more. Now obviously this isn't a bad thing at heart. Wanting more is definitely a good sign. It shows that I'm intrigued enough to keep playing, that I'm enjoying it enough to want more. I know this is a demo, and there's obviously going to be more when the full game comes out, but it also feels like there's not enough here. 3 walls to climb and you're done, 4 if you count getting out of the training area. It just feels too short. I know this is supposed to be the tutorial, but I feel like I didn't get to do enough or engage with any of the mechanics. And yes, there are other mechanics, but you would be forgiven for not knowing about them considering there's never a need. At least in the demo. For example, did you know that there's a hunger and thirst meter? Yeah, you need to eat and drink. Why? I don't know. I've never been on the mountain long enough to know, but I imagine having less of either means you have less stamina and, I don't know, maybe Aava has a weaker grip? Or, hey, did you also know you need to stay warm? I don't know how to do this as I didn't see any fire or way to warm up besides cooking food, but I imagine, again, Aava has less stamina and a weaker grip if you don't keep her warm for long periods of time. You can also re-bandage Aava's fingers with new grip tape for climbing. I, once again, imagine if you don't and you climb for too long, she'll have a weaker grip and may even get hurt in some way, shape, or form. I don't know. These few mechanics may not seem like much at first glance, but if I'm right and this is the tutorial, shouldn't it be teaching us about the importance of food? Shouldn't it be showing us how integral swapping the grip tape out is? If I can get through a tutorial without ever knowing about what half of the mechanics do, the tutorial hasn't done its job. It's not a bad tutorial, it just needs some tweaking and some add-ons. And some of this stuff is truly common sense, but you know some of us. We can get pretty dumb. There's also a very real possibility that either A, I'm completely wrong and this is not a tutorial and it's just something they kind of threw together at us so that we could have a demo because they had to delay the game because this was originally supposed to come out this November, or B, all of this has been changed and everything I've just said has already been addressed. So it could very well just be a null complaint. Now, I feel like I've complained enough, so let's talk about some positives. The game has a weather and a day-night cycle. Yes, I know that's not exactly game-changing information, but it is game-changing here. Climbing the mountain in the dead of night is honestly kind of beautiful in its own way. Aava has a light source on her pack, and climbing up, only being able to see what's illuminated in front of you, is a challenge that I was definitely looking for. I can't say much for the weather, as I never experienced it, but in the full game, I am hoping that the weather system does change the dynamics of climbing. The game has a stamina system, and while I'm not necessarily a fan of it currently, as doing anything from speed walking and running to taking even the slightest bit of damage lowers it, I do like that you can sleep wherever you're able to walk and regain that stamina, at the cost of time, food, and water. It also doesn't seem to have a permanent debuff, so any damage it takes can be gotten back simply by resting up for a little bit. We also have a photo mode, and I think that only makes any game better. Photo modes are always fun to tinker with, and I like getting what I think is a really cool picture, lining shots up mid-climb, taking a rest and taking a picture, stuff like that. It's small and probably doesn't really need its own spot here, but I enjoy it, so I wanted to talk about it for a second. The climbing, while wonky at first, also quickly became my favorite part of this game, which I'm thankful for considering it's the main crux of the game itself. It's simple, yet difficult. It took me a while to properly figure out the good spots, what to look for while climbing, where and where not to put my hands and feet. It takes some practice, but when it finally clicks in your head, it doesn't leave. The sound design is nice here too. It's nothing extraordinary, but its simple design makes it fitting instead of overbearing. Wind blowing gently past while you climb, footsteps in the grass while your climb bot shimmies about at your side. It doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it does make it look pretty. The graphics for this game are also beautiful. They kinda look comic booky, but that makes sense when you consider that the art style is inspired by a French comic book artist named, and I apologize for this butchering of the name, Matthew Beblet? I apologize, that was probably awful. Everything from the ground, the rocks, the cliff face, and the sky look beautiful. This combined with the photo mode, and well, I spent a lot of time not climbing and instead just taking Polaroids. Overall, Cairn's demo has been phenomenal, and while I can't say it's given me all the tools to be ready for the main game, I can easily say that I am more than looking forward to it. It's fun, and it's something I honestly never thought I would play, which makes me all the happier that I am playing it. I would, however, like to officially ask the game bakers for a couple of things if possible. You know, if any of you are actually watching. First, a speedrun timer. Maybe not for your first ascent up the mountain, as your first time should be special and taken at a pace suitable. But after that, I've loved the demo, but even more than that, I've loved shaving my time down. As I was writing this script, I set a new personal best, and I would love to know if I'm on track for that in the game. Second, ghosts. During Halloween, they had an event where you could see other players' ghosts, and I thought that was a really cool thing to add. Again, this should not be in your first playthrough for a variety of reasons, but in subsequent playthroughs, I would love to be able to see others. 3. The ability to skip the tutorial. I like the rock climb gem, but sometimes I just want to start at the beginning of the mountain and just get to climbing. It's a small thing, and it doesn't matter much, and they might have already added that in, so I'm not really concerned about it. But hey, that's all I have for you today. Cairn looks like it's going to be a phenomenal game, and I want nothing more than the full release, and hopefully after seeing this video you'll also want to give the demo a shot too. The game makers have done a great job, and I can't wait to see what else they're cooking for Cairn. You can get the demo on PlayStation 5 and PC, and I hope you enjoy your climbing. I will definitely be making another video on this when the full game comes out, so I won't be forgetting this game anytime soon. We have a Discord if you want to join that. It's in the channel bio, and I stream every Friday to Sunday from 10:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I hope I'll see you there. Finally, thank you all to these lovely people. They keep me going and are the reason I'm still doing this in the first place. Have a good night, everyone. I hope to see you in the next video, and please, seriously, play Cairn. It's so good.